Hi everybody, I'm Coach Bob McCreary from Baseball by the Yard. You're all warmed up. Prior to the game, you walk out, you notice you have this gigantic hole in front of the pitching rubber and another hole in the landing spot. Now what do you do? Well, when we come back, I'm going to show you what you can do. All right, so this is a very common problem at every level. Every field tends to have this at the younger levels, okay? So as a pitcher, first off, let's talk about the mental part of this. If I'm coming out here and as I'm a pitcher, I have to realize it's my responsibility to make the adjustments. I'm assuming here that I can have some ground screw come out and fix this for me. At most levels, you're not going to be able to have that. You just have to manage it. So first off, on the mental side, again, you have to stay positive and you have to say, I'm going to make whatever adjustments are necessary for me to be effective. We don't want to sulk, we don't want to pout and have this problem ruin my pitching outing. I have to figure it out. So today we're going to show you some ways that you can do that. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the hole in front of the pitching rubber. So if I'm pitching and I come out and I see this, I'm going to throw maybe one or two warm-up pitches normally just to see if it's a problem at all, because just because there's a hole in front of the pitching rubber and in the landing spot, it may not be a problem for me, because the hole may not matter based on my foot placement. The landing hole may not matter because my foot may go directly into that spot too, and it may not even be a problem. So I don't want to create a problem that isn't there, and so don't assume that that's going to negatively affect your pitching. But let's say I do throw one or two and I realize, all right, this is a problem. I have to deal with this. Let's go over some of the things that you can do. All right, so first off, if I'm starting from the windup, one of the things that can give me a problem is if my feet are hanging over the pitching rubber into that hole. It creates a weird angle of my feet, which I can then lose my balance. So one quick adjustment you can do is move your feet forward so that your feet are already in contact with the dirt and just my heels are touching the pitching rubber, okay? So in this case here, I never have to step down into that hole. My feet are already down into that hole and my heels are touching the pitching rubber, so that when I step to the side, I just slide my foot over. I don't have to step down into that hole, and typically that's going to help with balance. So that's a one quick adjustment. Start with your feet down into that hole. If that's still a problem, then you may want to consider just pitching from the stretch, so that I can eliminate that problem altogether. I already have my foot down in that hole, I already have my foot up against the pitching rubber, and I don't have to worry about stepping down to that hole. I just throw from the stretch. Okay, that's obviously a pretty drastic one if you're normally throwing from the windup with nobody on, but you do what you got to do. Okay, now another tip would be, all right, shift where you are on the pitching rubber. On this particular problem here, most of the hole is on the right side, my right side of the pitching rubber, and if that's a problem for me, well then maybe I switch and I pitch more from this side of the pitching rubber where there isn't that much of a hole. Obviously, if it was reversed, if the hole is over here, then maybe I switch out and I'm more on this side here. Now, if I'm a pitcher that really just needs to pitch from the right side of the pitching rubber and this hole's a problem, well, I may do some landscaping and dig some of this out to make it more flat on this side, and maybe my foot can sneak in over here. Okay, so that is that hole right in front of the pitching rubber. But we also, on this mound, have to deal with the hole right here. Okay, again, it may not be a problem, but if it is, here's some of the adjustments I can make. If my landing spot is not where this hole directly is, then I have to make an adjustment, okay? One of the things I can do is move, again, to the side of the pitching rubber. So if I now pitch on this side, that may put my landing spot to the left of that hole, and it may not be something I have to deal with. Conversely, if I can pitch maybe from the more right side of the pitching rubber, that may get my landing spot over here, and I can avoid that pitching rubber. Now, another adjustment is, I would say, a lot more drastic. It's one that you probably don't want to have to do. You want to try to avoid, and that is changing the length of your stride. I've done it, and it's an option if all else fails, but it tends to be more of a problem with your mechanics if you lengthen or shorten your stride. So if I normally stride and that hole is a problem, maybe I could stride a little shorter, which is going to require me to make some more adjustments with my release point, or maybe I can stride a little longer and create some adjustments there too. But I would say those are two adjustments, either striding less or more. I would say those are adjustments are ones that you should avoid if possible, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. So if that's your last resort, then you do what you can do. Okay, so first off, mentally, you have to figure this out. You can't let it negatively affect your pitching. If the hole is up here, moving to the left, to the right, starting from the stretch, starting with your heels touching the pitching rubber. These are some minor adjustments that you can do to try to get that hole to not have that much of an impact. Moving from side to side can get you away from that hole sometimes. So basically, you do what you got to do. You can't let it affect your pitching. And so, hey, that's what pitching's all about. It's all about adversity. So you got to figure it out and take care of that so you can still be effective. All right, folks, that's it. I am out.